Hi and welcome to another In Conversation. I'm Michael Worthington, and this week I have got Dean Evans from the Football Centre. You might be thinking, why soccer, why football, depending where you're from or what you're going to call it. It's about having success through life. That's why I've asked Dean to come in. He's a great success himself. So without further ado, how are you, Dean?
Good, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. What an interesting life and career, well, career and life you've had, and now your own business. But just to put things in perspective, people are obviously going to look at you as a business owner. We're going to get into that. But can you give us a little bit of a background of you growing up and how you actually got into soccer or football, depending on where these people are around the world?
Yeah, look, I started playing and enjoying the sport when I was about 6 years old, to be honest. Dad got me into it. He was a mad West Ham fan at the time, still is. And yeah, no, since then I haven't looked back. Yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride for me, especially, you know, making now soccer and football, like you said, a business. So it's been awesome. It's been very challenging, but it's something that I'm so excited about because we're brand new and we just want to keep growing.
Yeah. As you went through soccer, what were some of the highlights for you as you grew up and experienced football for yourself?
I think for me, I've always enjoyed the team aspect of things. Being able to play with your mates, especially at a young age, all your schoolmates, and then from that, where I was lucky enough to get a taste of professional football, and then meeting new mates that have now become lifelong friends. Yeah, and look, some amazing games, amazing moments in my career. Some of the teams I've played against is something I'll always remember.
So what are some of the teams?
I was lucky enough when I played in Hong Kong for a season, and in a pre-season tournament, I was lucky enough to play against Chelsea. So
really?
The likes of Drogba, Torres, Frank Lampard, John Terry.
What does playing against and meeting those types of people do for you as a person?
Oh, look, to be honest, I was a bit in awe at the time because here's a 20-year-old just watching the Premier League every Saturday night at home. Lucky enough, I had my agent at the time that called me and said, look, there's an opportunity in Hong Kong and potentially you could be matching up against some of these guys. And look, I remember the moment when I first stepped out and the crowd, there was, I think, about 50,000 people, and I was just, you know, I just looked around and smiled. And it was probably one of the, I think, the happiest moments of my career, especially in football, because I knew my mum and dad were there.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of the result, it didn't matter. Just because the feeling of being there and being able to pit yourself against some of the best players in the world was amazing.
It's interesting what you were just saying there, regardless of the result. And I think a lot of younger people growing up and people in business, there always seem to be, someone's always going, well, what's the result? What's the result? And you're going, actually, sometimes it's the enjoyment and the self-satisfaction of, hey, guys, I actually got here.
Yep. No, look, I think we hear that a lot, especially in junior sport, which is unfortunate, you know. Look, I've always said you always play to win. Don't get me wrong, I've always been very competitive and I know I hate losing, but that's something that's instilled. But it also at the same time, results and ladders and all that, you're not going to remember that when you're, you know, 20, 30 years old. You're not going to remember what happened at under 6 level if you finish top of the table. It's not important. It's not important. What's important, especially at that age and through their younger years, is the development, what they're actually getting taught.
Yeah.
How passionate their coach is about what they're doing, and you know, are they going to help them become, of course, better soccer players, but as well, teaching them in the right path to becoming better people too.
It was interesting when I asked you about your career highlights. You didn't tell me the clubs you played for.
Yep.
You went straight into, look at the people I met. Yeah. This was awesome.
Yeah.
And I think, and it wasn't, this is the best result we got in a game. This is where we finished best on the ladder. You went straight to, these are the people that I met. This is the feelings I got. This is how I actually made, and I remember those emotions more than anything else.
I think that's just sort of sums it up for me. And I think a lot of people in sport, you play for first and foremost for the fun of it. I love soccer. I think a lot of people love football and they do it for the fun of it. Yes, when you get to that next level and there's that bit of bit more results driven and there's trophies on offer and this, that and the other, look, that's when it becomes a bit more important and you're getting paid the big bucks because you're paid to perform at that level. But
yes.
you know, if you're in and about and you just want to have fun and enjoy it, you know, you're staying fit, you're staying healthy, you're playing with friends, I don't think there's a better feeling. So
you come out of professional sport and then you decide, I'm going to make a business, and you choose your sport as a framework for your business.
Yep.
What were some of the challenges of emotional thoughts around that? Did you go through that? Geez, I was good at it as a player, but now how am I going to perform as a business?
Yep.
Did you have any self-doubts or concerns or challenges moving that transition?
Look, I think just learning throughout the years of, you know, how I've got taught from other coaches and the coaching side of things, I think there's always that, you know, it's very different. You know, you've got to be able to project and how to speak to children, especially that's where our main focus is youth development, and getting the best out of them because, you know, kids are you know, have a what's the word I'm looking for? A short attention span where they, you know, it might go in one ear out the other. But how can you then, you know, stay on top of them and teach them the right things? And look, yeah, it's challenging. Don't get me wrong. It's always, you're faced with very different challenges every day. You've got different kids with different thoughts, different emotions, different things that happen at home, and it's our job to, you know, keep it fun for them and keep it, you know, enjoyable so that they keep coming back.
You said something interesting there, and I think it's something that resonates through your business, is teaching them the right things. Yep. And when you say that, I want the viewers to know that when you say the right things, you're not just talking the right technique, how to hold your foot. You know, in my day, we used to call it a toe banger. When you know, make sure your foot goes flat, you know, and, you know, on the side. You're not just talking techniques, you're talking beyond that, aren't you?
Yeah, look, we've always said we use football as a vehicle for life, and that's where, you know, the little 1%ers, when kids walk into our centre, we always say, hey, how you going? How was your day? Handshake, because that's a life skill. They're going to face that when they grow older, and you know, if they're not comfortable in doing just a little skill like that when they get into the workforce, you know, it's going to look bad on them, because. Look, that's, like I said, it's something that happens not just there, it'll take it away for the rest of their life with them. So,
when you've got the kids coming through and you're saying like those life skills of shaking hands, what do you think it gives the kids? I know you've got your 2-year-old programs and going up, but you've got more mature children coming through, and I'm sure you've got adults as well. What does it do for them having to work within a team environment? What do you think it actually gives them having to...
Yeah, look, there's confidence. You're able to organise and help other players. You know, you might see one of your teammates fall down. How can you go and help them up quickly and see if they're okay? That's just a little thing that they can do. Look, they might get beat in a game against one of the opposition, but they're still shaking hands. They're not going to just walk off and have a sulk. Yep. You know, those are the little things I think, you know, we try and teach that can help them in good stead going forward. You know, there's always a bigger picture than just a win or a loss. You know, there's other things where, you know, making sure, like I said, the player's all right, making sure, you know, you're able to help and organise your teammate in certain areas of the pitch. Those are just leadership qualities too.
You mentioned the leadership qualities. Do you think that comes through with like training? There was lots of training organisations, but yours seems to be just standing out a little bit different than these are the life skills, the qualities. You mentioned leadership there. Is that one of the things you hope that people who attend your centre can walk away with, whether they make it, and we'll talk about becoming a successful footballer in a little while, where you're going to define that, but is that really something at your centre of your heart?
Yeah, of course. Look, I think Reece, my partner in business, we've both got the same sort of motives and ideas, and we want to be role models for the kids. Especially, look, creating leaders is fantastic because that gives them confidence, not just in football, but in other things in life. You know, able to do different things around their house with their parents, able to do things at school for teachers, for other people, but it breeds confidence and in others as well that aren't as confident, if that makes sense. Yeah. So, look, if you see little Billy doing something and he's a leader and he's doing the right thing, I'm sure others will follow because that's the That's the way the world works. There's,
You know, when you played professional football, I know we've got the captains and they are the leaders of the team, but is in that professional environment, does everyone have to be a leader in their own right?
Yeah, in their own sense. Look, I think there's especially with professional football, there's loads of different personalities. People, that's just in life as well.
Yes.
And look, knowing each and everyone's roles in the team and what they do in this moment or that moment, whatever the moment is, but yeah, you can say there's definitely more than one leader. Look, the captain you look up to, and you want him to. You want to feel that he's always there for you, and whether it's winning a tackle for you, giving you a pass, whatever it is, he's there. But also, other players also have to lead by example too in their specific role.
So when you take that leadership, how do you, as a club, and I know it's only home, how do you actually instill that in the kids growing up, that even they may not be the captain, but they still have a leadership role to play? How do you get that in them?
Look, obviously it's not easy, but that's where you want to build that confidence in the kid. I think confidence is a huge thing, because look, especially I know junior sport, that's where it starts. And if you've got a coach that's negative and throwing abuse and you can't do this, you can't do that, obviously the kid's automatically going to go in their shell and hide. And that's what you don't want. You want the kid to flourish. You want them to be able to play free and with confidence. And if they've got that confidence, then they're going to lead by example too.
Yeah, it's you deal with across a broad range of age groups and so forth. What is it that makes you passionate about running a football centre? What does it get you up and goes, I got to get there, this is great?
Look, honestly, for me, it's being able to see a kid smile at you every time he comes in and just say thank you for how you teach me and what you're doing for me. Look, Dean, I came in the other day, I couldn't do this, now I can. I've gone home and practiced. And I think it's a great satisfaction to know that you're making a difference for, someone's life. And that might be in a soccer aspect. That might be a kid coming in saying, Dean, you spoke about the mental side of the game and, building resilience. And, that's another thing that we try to work on too.
Yes.
Not being able to just focus on only football. But look, like I said, it's great seeing kids happy, and that's what we want to do. And we want to try and keep them in a positive way, because we know how the world works. We've been and seen it, we've done it all, and we want to put them on the right path to achieving that.
I know with parents looking, and anyone looking at sending their child to someone like yourselves, I suppose they often say, why yourself? You've had a great career. I think it's a testament to your own attitudes, though, that professional footballers still come to you when they're in town and go, hey, let's go to you and get some training. That must be nice. Look,
we've met some unbelievable people over the years through football, and yeah, look, for us it's fantastic. Like I said, we had Josh Risden from the Socceroos come and train at our centre before he went to the World Cup, which was, it's fantastic for us. But also he's been a good mate of ours for however long, and that's great that he can come back. How busy his schedule would be, but he puts his trust in us to perform a session for him. So it's fantastic.
I think that's a real testament to you. How long has the centre been going? You've been going for
so we opened in September of 2017. So about a year and a half now. So look, it's been fantastic. It's been I wouldn't say a difficult start. It's been a great learning curve, I think, for us, for me and Reese. We started where we were hands-on, we're doing everything, which was great, but at the same time we're getting really tired. But that's what you got to do to run a business at start. Yes. You might have to put in all the hard yards until you're safe and the base is good. And then once we've done that, now we can work on what we want to do next with it, which is, we've got a lot of plans, which is exciting. Can't reveal them yet.
Nope.
But that's something for us to, go, what's working, what's not, and how can we fix it? What can we do better?
I do like the what's next attitude. You don't rest on your laurels.
No,
it's always very progressive. But And I'll switch it slightly to someone who is starting a business or wants to start a business. Do you have any words of advice from you, because you're fairly early into yours? Like, what would you say to them when they go, oh, should I, shouldn't I, you know?
Look, if you're confident in your own ability, look, don't get me wrong, Reece and I didn't just go, yep, we're going to do this now. There was a lot of planning.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, crunching numbers. Would this work? Would this wouldn't work? And we didn't go in blind. We did a lot of research on what could work. And we said, you know what, at the end of the day, you might have to have a bit of bravery too. You got to be brave in making that final decision. If you're confident enough that it can work,
yes.
But then you've got to go in and you've got to go fully and you've got to be committed. And you've got to say, you can't wake up one day and go, oh, I can't be bothered. Even though you might have those days. You might have those days, and that's a normal feeling, it's a natural feeling. But at the end of the day, if you know in your head that it's something that can work, you've got to put your whole self in it and actually go there and put, like I said, everything into it.
And I am conscious of your time, Dean, and I know you're busy. But I've got to ask you, do you think playing team sports and having to perform and turn up for your team has helped you push through some of those tough barriers when you do wake up in the morning and go, oh, I just can't be bothered, I'd rather just pull the covers off my head? Yeah,
of course. Look, I think it's even better that you've got, a partner that has the same views as you, working with you as well. Because one of us might have a bad morning or whatever, but you can then say, come on, this is what we've done and we've put ourselves into it. But look, I think that's what, soccer, team sports, anything, it's great because you're meeting people, you're meeting mates that, like I've said, that become life mates. And I think that's special, because you've got your schoolmates that you grew up with, and sometimes you go on different paths, which is normal. But then you've also got your sporting mates that you can rely on too, which is you usually see most days whenever you've got sports. So it's look, I think it's a big help that if you're able to play a team sport, that you stick by it, and you get that confidence from being around different guys all the time.
It's rare to get the opportunity to have someone like yourself in the studio, and it would be very remiss because I know a lot of people will be going, come on, ask him what it's like being a professional footballer. How difficult is it? What are the challenges that you see, and what is it actually like being a professional footballer?
Look, it's not hard. I mean, sorry, it is very hard. Yeah. What was? Take that off. It's extremely hard.
That. No, you just said it there.
No, it's extremely hard. The hours that you put in. Look, even prior to making it as a pro at 2021, if you're 15, 16, 17, those years were tough because, not only do you have to rely on mum and dad to take you to training every day, because we were training 5 days a week, plus a game on the weekend. Look, it's a lot of sacrifice, but you've got to have a strong mind. You've got to understand that not everything's going to work for you straight away, and that's especially from my own personal views and experiences that some things went really well for me. I made my debut when I was 18 for the Perth Glory, which was fantastic. But then the next few years was a bit harder, and that's how life is. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, but if you've got a strong mind and you're able to bounce back and, put something negative into a positive, then, look, the sky's the limit for you, because then another, like everyone says, one door shuts, another opens. And that's what happened with me. I'm sure it happened with a lot of people in sport too.
Yeah. I've got to ask you that as well. You say there's a strong mind. What's the percentage in your mind, or you give some an indication of, skill as opposed to attitude? How important is it in a game like that? Yeah,
look, I find, skill, you do all your practice, and, you might have a Bobby, Billy, whatever his name is, that might be unbelievably technical. Great feet, great first touch, shooting, this, that, but he might have a poor attitude. And I think for coaches at that next level, they want not just to tick one box, they want all boxes ticked. So if you've got little Billy who's, his technique's not bad, but his attitude's unbelievable, or Bobby that's unbelievable technique, but attitude's poor, for me, I think they'd want to work with someone that is able to be coachable. He's able to learn and he wants to get better, whereas this guy thinks maybe he's already too good.
Yes.
So there's those two ways, and I think that's what coaches look for. They look for kids that are passionate, driven, want to have fun, always smiling, you know, competitive, but determined to get better too. They
Yeah.
don't want players just to rest on their laurels.
Yeah, I was listening to a basketball coach, well, and I must apologise, I can't remember his name, and he had a superstar come to him, and he said, well, stand on the three-point line and shoot me 50 3-pointers. And he said, I can do that blindfold. He goes, well, do it.
Yeah, let's go.
He's like going, but I can already do this. Teach me something new. And he's going, no, do this for me.
This,
And when he shot 50, he goes, now you can give me another 50. And he's like going, what's this about? And he said, I'm not looking for your skill, I'm looking for your attitude.
Yeah, good.
And he said, and so far you're not impressing me, you're questioning me. And it was like, he went, wow, no, just tell me what you need and I'll do it. And all of a sudden he made it in Chicago Bulls or one of those huge teams. But the coach was saying, you know, that people can come with him to him, they've got a natural ability, but their skill sets might not just be perfect. But he said the attitude, he said, that's my job. My job's to go, I see where you're not quite right. My job's to fix
to tweak it and fix it.
But he said, I can't fix you if you don't want to be fixed.
Correct. And that's what we found too. Look, we've had kids that come in that maybe think they're a bit better than what they are, but we love having kids that want to be coached and want to ask questions and want to say, Dean, how can I fix this? How can I fix that? And that's what we're there for. You know, we want to help. We want to make kids, again, like I said, better footballers. And in order to do that, we see how they perform, but we've also got to see that they're willing to step in with us and join our process and what we want to achieve too. And look, I think that's where we've had a lot of success, where, you know, we're not just a generic business where, you know, come in, do whatever you like, cool, that's it. We're there to actually fix and help on their mistakes, you know.
You know, in business, you know, we all run businesses. I often say to businesses, you know, customers are always right, but then we select which customers we want. Have you got a very similar attitude? You're selective who actually comes into your centre. You look at them and go, you're going to be disruptive, or you're going to be positive. How do you look this?
We always try to remain, you know, calm with whoever comes in. We say everyone's welcome. Any ability, doesn't matter who. And we then try to, you know, obviously, again, based on their attitude and how they're acting. If, you know, you get your challenges with kids where some are just very disruptive, but then we've got to, again, we can't just say, nah, that's it, sit out, see you later. We've got to try and flip it and see, how can we make him have fun? Or he or she have fun? How can we fix that problem? Because something's bothering them, but how can we help them? Because there's always a way. There's always a way.
Isn't it?
And look, you know, sometimes you might need to bribe them with little gifts. And we found that works. Sometimes you might need to put them on the spot and challenge them. You know, kids react in different ways, and I think that's our job, to try and find out quickly and then see what we can do to fix it.
I must admit, I do like your attitude. I like the attitude that my job is to make this fun for you. And so your attitude is that, okay, I've just got to find out where the triggers are.
Yeah, look, every kid's different, like I said, and there's always a way to make a kid happy. You know, you might find one off day that they're not going to click, they're not going to change, but then the following they come back and they're back to themselves again, which is, you know, that happens. That happens.
One thing I will, and we're right on the edge of time, but one thing I am enjoying at the moment is seeing that the ladies and the girls' soccer is just taking just as big. I watched the girls' game the other day and went, I'm glad I'm not playing against them. It's become a very equal sport now. I love it.
It's fantastic. I think that's what they've said now. The women's sport has just grown, even more women's football. And look, for us as well at the centre, we currently take quite a lot of one-on-one private sessions with a lot of NTC, so the National Training Centre girls. And yeah, look, the love for the game, it's awesome, but they've got role models they look up to. They've got Sam Kerr, who's, I think, the best women's footballer in the world. Not according to FIFA, but that's another story. That's another debate. But look, she's been a great ambassador for the game, I think, because now, you know, kids see, can I be the next Sam Kerr? And she's a homegrown girl. She's a Perth girl, and I think that's fantastic for girls, especially in WA, to see.
Yeah, and what I find exciting is that they can have a professional career just like everybody else. And what they bring, some of the games I've watched, I said I must have played it when I was younger, and I watch them now and go, I get slaughtered. They're incredible.
Look,
I just think the younger generation coming through, I look at the skill sets of a soccer player, male or female these days, it's just amazing.
I think there's, especially for kids now, they see more. there's social media, they watch Neymar clips, Ronaldo clips, Messi clips, and they go, can I do that? Can I do this? Can I do this? Fantastic. Can you do it? And if you can, awesome. But then they'll go and practice it. And so their eyes see more now, which is good and bad at the same time. But I think there's just more passion for the game, which is great. And I feel that it's just going to keep growing, and that's what we want. That's what we want to see, and we want to see more players regularly playing for the national team from Perth. That's our goal. We want to create footballers at the highest level if possible. If not, no problem. There's that many leagues, like I said, around the world that you can play in, and whether that's professional or not, doesn't matter.
I do like what the Football Centre stands for. It's success in soccer, but it's really about success. You're giving people success for life itself.
Yeah.
I think, if someone's looking at it now and saying, it doesn't matter what age they're at or whether they've got kids or themselves, they want to get involved. What's the best way of getting involved in the football scene? You're based in Osborne Park. We're in Western Australia, guys. This goes worldwide, so just so people know where we are.
Yep.
How do they get involved, Dean?
Look, you can get in touch with us via our website, www.footballcentre.com.au, or all our social media platforms. We've got Facebook, Instagram, and look, we're quite active. We want to be active because we want to give back to the viewers and whoever's watching us, something that we can show them what we do there. And I think you need to do that in this day and age to keep your viewers happy, as well as, being able to keep people involved too, and seeing what we do. We want to come up with different ideas, different techniques to train in, that other people don't have. But again, we want to build good people too. We want to not only focus on the football side of things, but again, being realistic to how hard it is to becoming a pro. We want to give them that sense of realism and what it takes to actually get there. And you might not get all the breaks, like I said. There's going to be those downs, but then being able to help them fix those things, fix the things that are making them sad, or, that they don't want to play the sport anymore, because that can happen. That can happen with their development, and we want to try and keep them in for as long as possible. Fantastic.
Dean, I was once told that the real quality of a person is how they act on the field and how they act after the field.
Yep.
You're certainly one of those people, my friend.
Thank you.
It's been a real pleasure meeting you.
My pleasure. Thanks,
Fantastic.
Michael. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
My
pleasure. Thank you.
Everyone, Dean Evans, if you're really interested, look them up on social media. I'll put the links underneath, and thanks for joining us.
It's all about helping young players develop and get better. I think that was the core reason behind us starting it up. And obviously there's a lot of add-ons that have come from that as the business has progressed over the last year. And one of the big things about that is our social tournaments that we run at night with adults, which is awesome. And we're looking to introduce a junior setup as well. So we're really looking forward to that over the next month to launch our junior tournaments.
I'm having a look around this space here. Can you just tell the viewers how big a space you've got in here and how long it actually took you to set this up?
It's around 915 square metres from memory, but the pitch is roughly 20 by 30 metres, so it's a pretty normal indoor size field. It's got top of the range AstroTurf that we've laid down here, and it allows players to wear their outdoor boots inside, which is one of the unique things about the place, and what we find a lot of people coming in really love doing.
And it probably took close to 9 months setting up?
Yeah, all up. I mean, a lot of council things and hoops we had to jump through there.
The nets getting installed.
Yeah, but I mean, apart from that, after the council approval was done and laying the turf and the nets, everything was pretty
smooth sailing. Yeah,
pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and have you found the support of council now you're open? Have they been inspected, or are they supportive, or is just get on with business?
I mean, after we put our planning application through, they sent someone out to check that it's all legit and it's all there, and that's been done. And ever since then, we've had no problems whatsoever.
What do you find the response of the parents have been coming and having an indoor soccer field? Are you finding parents are actually loving the security aspect, that the kids can't just run off and escape across roads and things like that?
Yeah, no, definitely. Look, being indoors, you're taking away the sun factor as well. Especially hot days like today, don't have to worry about kids getting burned. Rainy weather, we've got, again, this place there's just no excuses in terms of weather and safety as well. Obviously there's cars driving in and out, but we've got the net, Once they're in here, they're in here. They're safe there, and and it's good that parents are, they're happy to leave their kids with us and trust us, and yeah, it's a good thing.
It's a controlled environment,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Now, I've got to ask you too, which I'm sure lots of people can ask you. You're both competitive soccer players. You still play. How does that work in a business relationship? Who wins?
It's fine in a business relationship, I guess, until the week we play each other, and then it gets a little. Then we don't speak that week.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
No, it's still good. We football is one thing. We've always said once you cross the white line, you've got your game face on. You want to play, you want to win for your team. But once the game's over, you chill out and your mates again. And that's how football should be played.
Do you think coming from a team sport, and both of you playing competitive team sport, has helped you in business to cooperate as a team? That when you come in, you can sort things out pretty smoothly amongst yourselves?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've both got the same drive and determination and the same ideas. Having a similar background, having known Reece for over 10 years, it's pretty easy, to be honest, because like I said, we've got the same ideas. We bounce off each other, and we want to grow the business, but we're having fun doing so.
Reece, going into business one like this, what do you think some of your learnings have been along the way? I did ask Dean at when he was in the studio, but yourself, what's it been like?
Everything's brand new for us. I mean, running a business is something we've both never done. So everything from the idea and getting things up, each step has been a new learning curve for us. But it's been a really enjoyable one. And when it's something that we've created and we've thought of, and it's something a little bit different, it's special. And when you see kids come in here and leave with a smile on their face, everything, all the hard work that you've put in prior is all worth it.
Now, Dean mentioned in the studio you guys have got some secret plans for expansion, and he wouldn't tell me what they were.
Yeah, that's a big thing. There's secrets.
Can't lay it all out right now, you know what
I mean, we'd love to expand one day, but for the time being, we're based here in Osborne Park, and I think that's where we'll be for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. One thing we were talking about was the number of, real high-class players that still come and see you guys to train and to practice. That must be real kudos to yourself for the quality of the establishments you've set up, but also the quality of you two guys in general, for them to want to come here and train with you.
Yeah, no, of course. Like I said, we built great relationships when we were playing, and met some great people as well. And that's the best thing about football. You're meeting new people all the time, and of course, like I said, you're building good relationships. And if you can stay in touch, and especially now that we've got this, we want to help them too. So
yeah,
that's why we bring them here.
And it's kudos to them as well. We're working with top athletes here, pros, and they still want to get better, and they're phone calling us saying, "Can I come in and do sessions?" And that's always a nice feeling. And they're always welcome. Always welcome.
Do you find that's a hallmark of a top athlete? They just always want to get better. They're not satisfied.
Definitely. I mean, they're never satisfied. And you look at any of the top athletes, no matter what sport, they always are driven and they want to get better.
You look at Ronaldo, still at the top level, still scoring over 30 goals a year, but that's because he's got the drive and the love for it still. He wants to keep getting better. And
it's a great message to all young players that we work with as well. I mean, probably the hardest working player we've ever coached in here is Josh Risdon.
Yep.
I don't know if you agree with that.
By far.
He went to a World Cup with the Socceroos, but you can see why. And you can see the difference from his level to the rest that we've worked with.
Yeah, wow. For someone going into business, Reece, what would you say? Any words of advice?
I mean, there's a lot of fear in setting up your own business, I guess, and a lot of setbacks, and a lot of people will tell you that you can't do it. But if you believe in yourself and you believe in your idea, go for it. Work hard, and I promise things will come off.